Hi everyone, welcome to this video for D100 Space. This is episode 2 called Accessories. Now in the last video I did, episode 1, I said I was going to do a captain. I was going to generate a captain, but I felt I ought to put this video in first because we need to just take a quick look at some of the accessories that are available and some of the accessories you need to add yourself to begin playing the game. So in the last video we went through and we detailed all the game sheets that you're going to need to print off and use when you're playing the game. So you're going to need a pencil, preferably a pencil. You could use a pen or some type of writing implement where you can easily remove and erase information, because what you're going to be doing, you're going to be filling out all this on these log sheets and on your combat track. You're going to be writing them down and then you're going to need to make adjustments. So essentially you need a pencil and you're going to need an eraser, and we also use 3 type of dice, maybe 4 if you've got a D3, but you've got a D10. Sometimes you'll be asked to roll a D10, sometimes you'll be asked to roll a result between 1 and 100, and for that you can use one of these D10 percentiles. There's instructions in the book on how you do that if you're not sure. You're also going to need a D6 and potentially a D3, although the D6 can always act as a D3 anyway, a 3-sided dice. You simply just roll that and then half the result. And probably going to need a pencil sharpener to keep your pencil sharpened so you can make these alterations quite easily. The next thing you might consider adding is some coloured pencils. So there's 4 colours that you could add: blue, yellow, red and green, and they are relating to the areas that you will be adding to a map sheet. So when you begin an away mission, you're going to be playing using a map sheet and you're going to be drawing the areas of the facility or the complex that you're actually exploring. You'll be adding these in and drawing them in, and then you need to colour code them. So some people like to use some coloured pencils, so that's another option that you can add to the game. And then when you're actually out in space around the galaxy looking at all these different places, we pretty much can use this sheet here as a tracker to track where our captain's starship is currently positioned. And you can use various different things for this. I like to use the token that came in the mapping game, which we'll look at in a minute, and you basically can just place them in these different zones to say where they are. You could also use a cube or anything really, just to mark the position of where your captain's starship is when they're actually in these zones. Okay, so I think the next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and look at the D100 Space Tracker. So this is a product that's available from the Game Crafter, and it's also available from Drive-Thru RPG as a printable file, and you can print it off and then cut out the bits yourself. I'll put all this out of the way and then we'll have a look at this. Okay, so the game tracker, the D100 Space Tracker, is basically a mat, a neoprene mat that's got lots of tracks on it and lots of markers for you to move around and mark the positions. So basically when you're playing the game, you're going to be adding shading to various tracks and various elements, and this basically is a shortcut way of keeping track of all those without needing to keep adding them to your log sheet. You can add all the details, you can make all the changes. When you're in combat, you can track the health of swarm monsters or single monsters. You've got your enemy starship, current power and their current life support, so you can keep track of that when you're in a combat. You've got your captain's health you can keep track of, and the starship's details there, and then your away mission tracks. Where you're on an away mission, you might get some acid, so you'll need to place a shade in a certain number of acid pips, and what this track does is it allows you to track all that. And also it's got the time track as well, which is at the bottom of the log sheet there. So it's when you've finished playing the game for the session, you can then transfer all that information to the log sheet, and you haven't had to, during your gameplay, make all those alterations. And like I say, this is available from the Game Crafter, and also it's available print and play, where you'll need to print it up and make all the components that you see there. Okay, so next up is the Implants and Patches cards. They're available from the Game Crafter and also from D100 as a print and play file. I'll put the links in the description below to those places. The implants are found on table I implants, and when you're playing the game you might be instructed to roll on this table. Well, what this deck of cards does is it has all the implants that are available on this table, and also 5 bonus ones. And what you can do is you can shuffle them together and use them either as a draw deck, so you could instead of rolling on this table you could just simply draw a card, and then you could also use them as just reference cards. So if you've rolled on the table and you've gained a Cybercon unit or a patch and you want to use it, you could use this as a reference, so you don't have to keep referring back to this table all the time. The other way to use them is both. You could, if you had 2 decks, you could use one deck as a draw deck to find a Cybercon implant, and then you could use the other deck as a reference. The cards come with 5 bonus monsters that you can chuck into your game, and it also has a reference card which has got those instructions that I've just explained on how you could use the cards, and also it's got a contents on the front of it as well. Okay, the last thing to really take a look at is the D100 space mapping game. This is available from the Game Crafter and also as a print and play from D100. I'll put the links to those in the description below. The Game Crafter version comes in this small box and contains the components that you can see in front of you here. The first thing is the rulebook. So the rulebook covers details about how to create an enemy pool and how to generate a door pull, and you've got your geographic counters here. And basically this set will allow you to build an away mission in front of you on the table rather than needing to draw it all out on these map sheets. Okay, so basically what you would do is you would begin a facility, you would draw a card. We've got a red card there, so that tells us that it's there's an enemy in this area from the rulebook, so you would have to draw a counter. So if we draw that one, we've got 6, so you would look up enemy number 6 out of all the monster cards. So we've got a giant conduit snake, so we'd put that in play. Our little guy here, a little spaceman, keeps track of where we are in the facility, so you place him on that card and then you pop the counter there. And after you'd finished combat, if the enemy got killed, you would remove that token. If you managed to escape from it, then you would leave that in play. And then you would return, after combat, you would return the monster back to its deck. And then you would be given the choice to search that area. So let's say we destroyed the monster. We'd search the area, you'd then mark the area with a search crystal, and then you could, the next turn, you choose which direction you want to go in. So in this case we'd go that way, and you draw another card, place us a yellow one, so we could go there, and then we could search that area or not. And then perhaps we have to go that way, so you draw another card. Then we've got a green area, and there's these little white arrows that tell you the way in which you orientate the cards. Okay, so we've got that. You would draw a geographic feature. Let's say we drew G19, and there's some instructions on how to place certain geographic counters and features that you come across in the game. Let's say we drew number 25 geographic, then there's all these overlay counters that you could then play on there. And so basically you can see that as you progress through, you're creating the map in front of you and you're not needing to draw it all out. Okay, so I think that pretty much sums up this video of accessories. Hope you enjoyed the video, and in the next one, episode 3, we're going to be generating that captain. So stay tuned, and until next time, take care. Bye for now.